Okay, so today we would like to review what we have learned last week, and also we will discuss about the third theory, the third theory of organizational theory, that is modern organization theory. What did we do last week? I think we have discussed about classical organization theory, which is comprises of three approach, three sub theory, First is scientific management, which is pioneered by Frederick Taylor, with his theory about the time and motion studies. And a Weber bureaucratic approach, we also learn about a Weberian, his contributions, in bureaucratic theory or bureaucratic approach, and also administrative theory, like Henry Fayol, and also other scholars, I think. And the second biggest theory, the second big theory is neoclassical. We also have learned about what did Mary Parker Follett contribute to this neoclassical theory, and also the Elton Mayo, with the very famous experiments, So I think maybe you can go back to last week, that we already discussed. Management approach actually is based on the concept of planning of work to achieve efficiency, standardization, specialization, and simplification. So they assume that organization is very formal structures. Organisasi is very rigid and very formal, and therefore, to increase productivity, they have to achieve, by increasing their efficiency, standardization, specialization, and simplification. I think we have already discussed about the principles of scientific management as well. So the work is based on science, not rules of thumb. Rules of thumb meaning based on practice rather than theory. And they suggest about scientific selection, of the worker, and also management and labor cooperation rather than conflict, and then scientific training of workers. Meanwhile, Weber's bureaucratic approach considered the organization as a part of a broader society. So the organization should be based on the principles of structures, specializations, predictability and stability, and rational. The organization should be rational, and democracy. So observe that this approach is considered very rigid. So they view or they see organization as very rigid or kaku, very rigid, impersonal, self-perpetuating, and empire building. Okay, next, administrative theory was founded by Henry Fayol and based on several principles of management. And he suggests about the set of planning, organizing, training, commanding, and coordinating functions. So it is very famous, about the administrative theory, based on Fayol's principles of management. For example, a division of work, he suggests how to specialize or how to divide the work based on the workers' specializations, authority and responsibility, discipline, unity of command, kesatuan komando, unity of direction, ya, kesatuan perintah, ya. Centralization, order, equity, esprit de corps, ya, committees, functions of management, and so on. Yeah, there are so many administrative principles from Henry Fayol's theory. Yeah. Meanwhile, yeah, a neoclassical theory. When we are talking about neoclassic, yeah, neoclassic means baru, yeah, new, yeah. So they add, yeah, something that are missing in the previous theory, yeah. So neoclassical theory emphasize individual or group behavior and human relations and determining productivity. The main features of neoclassical approach are individual, work group, and participatory management. So they, what did they suggest on neoclassical theory? That the manager should consider or should have give attention to the social and psychological needs of the workers, ya. Jadi menurut ahli-ahli neoklasik gitu ya, organisasi itu bukan hanya sekedar kumpulan jabatan, bukan hanya sekedar struktur yang sangat kaku, ya, tetapi di dalamnya juga adalah manusia, ya. Mereka adalah para pekerja, para anggota organisasi yang memerlukan kebutuhan sosial dan sosiologi, psikologis dan sosial, ya, sosial dan psikologi. So they also need, ya, social and psychological needs, yeah. Not just money, ya. If we think that, yeah, of course everyone needs money, yeah, needs a good salary, yeah, but not just salary, yeah, but in workplace, yeah, in our working conditions, yeah, it's not just salary that we need, yeah, we also need other things, yeah, like attention, yeah, social relationship from others, yeah, from our supervisor, from our friends, yeah, from our colleague, yeah. So this is what the neoclassical authors, yeah, or scholars suggest, yeah. So they give some critics towards the classical theory, yeah. Okay, can you get it? What is the difference between the classical and neoclassical?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, it's easy, yeah. If classic, yeah, classical, meaning they see the organization from very rigid way, in very they see the organization is structures, yeah, very rigid, very formal, yeah. So to make the organizations more efficient, yeah, they need rules, yeah, they need standard operating procedures, yeah, they need yeah, like what we have discussed, yeah, they need specializations, yeah. Jadi kurang sentuhan humanis gitu ya, kurang sentuhan humanisnya. Nah, kalau di neoclassical, ya, they add, ya, that organizations is formal, ya, it is true, ya, but not just specializations, not just rules, ya, not just SOP, ya, we also, because we are human, ya, we also need other things, yeah, like attention, like for example, when we are say thank you, yeah, to our subordinates, yeah, or to our teamwork, yeah, or to our colleague, yeah, it's very important thing. when you are saying thank you, ya terima kasih sudah dibantu misalnya ya, itu sudah merupakan satu apa ya, oh saya kok dihargai gitu ya. So you how to treat people with respect. Yeah, so that is the main the core of human relations approach, yeah, in neoclassical theory, yeah. And next is what we call as a modern theory. What is modern theory? Yeah, after classic, then neoclassic. Yeah, we come into the modern theory. Yeah. So modern theory are based on the concept that the organizations is an adaptive system which has to adjust to changes in its environment. Yeah, so when we are talking about modern theory, yeah, we are talking about open system. Yeah, organization is as an open system. Yeah. So we will discuss later what is the open system. Yeah. Modern theories includes the system approach, the socio-technical approach, and the contingency or situational approach. Ada juga beberapa pendekatan ya di dalam modern theory. Ada yang system approach, ada yang socio-technical approach, and then the contingency. Yeah. So what is the characteristic of modern approach? Yeah, in the organizations. First is systems viewpoint. Yeah, we see the organizations as an open system. What is system? What is system? System is bagian-bagian yang saling berhubungan dan membentuk satu, dan mereka saling berkoordinasi, saling komunikasi, ya, saling kerjasama ya untuk membentuk satu tujuan tertentu. Yeah. For example, just look at our body. Yeah, our body is a good analogy. Yeah, when we are talking about system, yeah, our body can explain. Is our body is open system? Yes. Yeah. If the temperatures outside is hot, so our body will adapt. Kita akan berkeringat, ya. But if the temperatures outside is cold, so our body will also changes and adapt. Ya, kita akan kedinginan seperti itu. So this is the characteristic of open system. And so as the organizations is also open system because it affected by so many external factors that affected the organizations as well. For example, the political situations, the economy, the economically situations, the socio and cultures situations. We also give effect to the organizations as well. Yeah, so that is called as a open system. Yeah, and how about the closed system? Is it possible to be a modern organization now is like open closed system? Is it? No. Yeah, it's almost impossible. Yeah, it's almost impossible because open system is like a loop. It's like when we are sitting in a closed room, yeah, without windows, yeah, without doors, without air, yeah, without oxygen, yeah. So how you live? Yeah, how can you live? Yeah, we don't have any interaction with others. We don't have any interaction with external environment. Yeah, so it's almost possible. It's almost impossible. It's impossible. I mean, Yeah, if we assume that organizations, yeah, nowadays is existing in the closed system, it's impossible. Yeah. So they have to interact, yeah, so they have to adapt, yeah, and will be affected by so many factors outside. Yeah. Whatever the organization is, yeah, it is higher education, yeah, political organizations, yeah, business organizations, yeah, company also organizations, yeah, business organization is very much, yeah, very much influenced, yeah, by so many factors, yeah. Even now, the pandemic, yeah, gives so many influence, yeah, gives so many effect, yeah, to our business as well. Okay, so we see the organization as an open system, yeah, not closed system. That the organization as a system, yeah, which is composed of a set of interrelated and thus mutually dependent, yeah, between subsystems. Thus, the organization consists of components, linking process, and goals. Ya, jadi sistem itu sendiri juga terdiri dari subsistem, gitu ya, yang saling berhubungan satu dengan yang lain, yang saling berhubungan. It's like just like our body, ya. Our body is consists of subsystem, right? There is so many subsystem, ya. Blood system, ya. And then what else? Ya, sistem pernafasan misalnya, ya. Jadi melibatkan banyak sekali organ-organ dan bahkan multi organ yang harus berhubungan satu dengan yang lain. Nah, sama persis dengan organisasi. Ya. And the organ in our body is interrelated. Ya, saling berhubungan, saling berkoordinasi gitu ya. Jadi kalau ada satu yang sakit, pasti yang lain juga ikut sakit. Kan? Even if our food is painful, ya, your body will feel painful also. Yeah. Or you feel stomach, ya, or you feel headache, ya. So all of your body will also feel like that. Feel painful too. So this is the indicators, yeah, if our body is a system, yeah, because it is set of interrelated, yeah, and interdependent, yeah, mutually dependent between one subsystem to another subsystem, yeah. And this is the components, yeah, of a system approach. Yeah, we have individual, yeah, in the organization, individuals. We also have formal and informal organizations, yeah, formal and informal organizations. Patterns of behavior, ada perilaku, ada pola, ya, pola perilaku tertentu misalnya. Ya. Role perceptions, persepsi terhadap peran kita masing-masing. Kita punya peran. Nah, peran kita apa? Ya, peran yang sesuai dengan tugas kita, ya, and physical environment as well, ya. And this is the importance, yeah, of communications, yeah, because in the linking process between one subsystem to other subsystem, yeah, they need communication. That's why organizational communication is very important. It's because it is like it is function as a linking process, yeah. And decision analysis and also balance. And the goals of organizations, yeah, there are three goals, yeah, three important consider as goals. First is growth, pertumbuhan, yeah. Second is stability, ya, stabilitas. Lalu ketiga interactions. Yeah. And socio-technical approach, yeah, the second approach of the modern organizational theory considers the organization as composed of a social system. So they view organization is as a social system, technical system, and its environment. These interact among themselves, and it is necessary to balance them appropriately for effective functioning the organization. So they see organizations is not just social system, yeah, which enables people to interact, yeah, one to another, but it's also a technical system, yeah, which composed of technology. Yeah, if it is the information technology, for example, yeah, machinery, yeah, technology, yeah, it's a technical system, and its environment, which is they will interact into among themselves, yeah, each others. And last is the contingency or situational approach. Recognize that the organizational system are interrelated with their environment. They were very highly, yeah, dependent, yeah, will be affected, and we also will affect the environment as well, yeah, because it is called as a interrelated, yeah, saling mempengaruhi. And that different environments require different organizational relationship for effective working of the organization. Nah, untuk perubahan lingkungan yang yang berbeda-beda gitu ya, lingkungan yang dikatakan tidak stabil, maka diperlukan juga strategi organisasi yang berbeda atau organizational relationship yang unik, ya. Jadi untuk setiap kali ada perubahan gitu ya, maka juga diperlukan strategi yang memadai, ya. Tidak bisa kita memaksakan diri misalnya menggunakan strategi lama untuk perubahan lingkungan yang baru. So this is called as a contingency or situational. We see at the situations. For example, now, the pandemics, have been last for 3 years, So what is the strategy, of the organizations, of the business, in order to sustain? They need an adequate strategy, unique strategy, in order to sustain, and they can bertahan, di masa pandemi, bisa bertahan di masa pandemi. So this is actually the explanation, about the organization as the modern theory of organizations. Okay, is there any questions until this part? No?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So I told you that previously, I told you that organization is affected by the environment, and also they will affect the environment as well. Can you mention, one of the example how we affect our environments? How we affect, how we give influence to our environments? Hello? Can you explain how we affect our environment as well? For example, UMY, yeah. For example, UMY, what is the environment that affect, ya, will give effect to UMY? Kalau misalkan kita ini sebagai open system gitu ya, as an open system ya, organizations, UMY. So what is the environment that they will? What is the external environment that they will give effect to UMY? Can you explain how they give effect?
Misalnya, for example, like UMY, open system, like interaction and to society in environment.
Yeah, what environment? What kind of external environment that you may imagine? We are open system, right?
Yes.
Consider that, yeah, okay. UMY is open system. And then what is the external environment that if effect, yeah, will give effect to UMY? For examples, the economical situations, right? Is the economical situations, the economic environment give effect to UMY or not?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course ya. Daya beli masyarakat ya, pendapatan apa nih, pendapatan domestik itu semua berpengaruh ya, karena kan mahasiswa ya, our main customer, our main stakeholders is students ya. They have to pay their tuition fee ya, and the tuition fee is very depending on the daya beli masyarakat gitu. So if the ability ya of the pay or daya beli masyarakat is so low ya, they won't allow their daughter or sons ya going to university and pay for the tuition fee. Yeah. This is one of the examples ya, of how economical situations, yeah, the economic environment will give high influence to our university as well. And what else? Yeah, local and national political stability, for example, also give very big, yeah, very big influence, give very big contributions, yeah, positive. They will give positive signal, yeah, they give signal yang positif. Yeah, if we operate in the country or city which is the political is not stable, yeah, how can they operate? Ada kan negara-negara yang tiap hari perang, ya, ada negara-negara yang tiap hari bom, ya, bom sana, bom sini, gitu ya, bom bunuh diri. So, can you imagine how they will operate in that kind of atmosphere situations? If the political stability in their country is not good, yeah, it's chaotic, for example. So this is how, yeah, the external environment, yeah, will give very high, yeah, contributions, or will give high will give positive or negative signal. So we have to identify, yeah. And what else? technology, yeah, the improvement of technology, yeah. Now those university that won't improve their e-learning system, yeah, they won't improve their technology, will be behind, yeah. But those who are they build or improve their technological support, yeah, the university who improve their e-learning, yeah, or their IT, so they will lead, ya, they will lead. Jadi ini contoh ya bagaimana lingkungan bisnis ya atau lingkungan organisasi itu sangat dipengaruhi oleh external variables, ya, external environments. Ya. Nah sebaliknya gitu ya, on the contrary ya, we also give effect to external environment, ya, by we produce our outputs. Ya, output can be barang, can be jasa, can be product, ya, product or services that will also give contributions or will influence the environment as well. Yeah. If our product is good, yeah, it will give benefit, yeah, to the society, yeah, the society will use our product and our services, yeah. So we also will give influence, yeah, to the environment. Jadi saling tadi loh, saling mempengaruhi tadi, ya. Kalau kita juga dipengaruhi oleh lingkungan luar, kita juga akan mempengaruhi lingkungan luar melalui produk, ya, atau jasa yang kita hasilkan. Nah kalau universitas apa Bu? Ya kita kan punya alumni, ya kan, punya sarjana, punya pasca sarjana yang akan kita hasilkan. That is our product. And they will be consumed again by the lapangan kerja. Ya. Akan dikonsumsi, akan digunakan, ya, bukan dikonsumsi tapi digunakan lagi oleh lingkungan dan seterusnya. Begitu. Let's call as the input, process and output. Ya. Nah, kalau bank apa jasanya? What is the services of bank?
About financial?
Yeah, financial services. Yeah, they give some financial services. Yeah, to give loan, for example. Yeah. To save and deposit the nasabah money, yeah, they have responsibility to it, yeah. And nasabah, the client and customers will use their loan in order to sustain their business, right? Dan seterusnya. Nah itu kan akan muter aja gitu, ya kan? Kalau bisnisnya berkembang, if the business after they get loan, then they will improve, ya, so they will give also to the environments, ya, to the society. They can pay their labor, they can pay the supplier, ya, so they can give back again to the banks. Ya kan, harus bayar pinjaman. Ya. Bank akan menggunakan lagi itu dan seterusnya. Nah, this is called as the input, process, output. Oke, ada lagi? Kalau universitas tadi apa? What is the product?
Alumni.
Ya, Alumni akan digunakan lagi nggak sama masyarakat kan, sama lapangan kerja, ya toh? They will use ya the alumni. Yeah, if the alumni was good, yeah, they are competent, they have expertise that is expected by the workforce, yeah, by business or organizations, ya, karena mereka bagus, ya, keahliannya bagus, maka akan digunakan, akan diserap secara cepat gitu. And they will give contributions and will affect the society as well. Dan seterusnya gitu. Ya, jadi ini kayak muter gitu loh ya. Ya, muter gitu. Oke? Is it clear or not? About the open system?
Clear, ma'am.
Yeah.
Clear, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, I think that's all for me today. Yeah, because this morning I have to move to other buildings. Yeah, so I have to prepare again. Yeah, in that another class. Yeah. Okay, so if you don't have any questions, can I finish now? Yeah. Akhirul kalam. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, thank you.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam
warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.